Welcome to the For Your Thoughts podcast, where psychology, pop culture, and self meet. I'm here with Lama. I love to call my guests my co-host because you're like on the show with me. Like we're together on this. And you're from Views of an Ex, the podcast, and I really want to talk to you today because I feel like your show, after like really doing a deep dive, is like therapy within itself.
It is,
and of course, my show talks about mental health so much, and I feel like therapy can come in like many different forms. It does not have to be with you sitting down talking to a therapist. It can be just like listening in on conversations of people who have gone through similar things as you. And I just love how candid, how raw, how funny, how like just vulnerable, insane, random. Like
all the time.
Yeah, like your show is. It's like a chronicles. It's like you're listening in on someone's like deepest life, but in like the best way. And it's also like has a super like healing aspect to it as well. So that's why I wanted to talk to you today, because I just feel like it is a form of therapy. And just talk about like the psychology of an ex. Like that's what I think the name of the pod will be. So I want to talk about like first how we even met.
Both fans of Poor Minds. Shout out to
Drea and Lex.
Yes.
Literally fans of Poor Minds. It was their live show.
In New York.
And it was like my birthday weekend, and I hear them, and I was so geeked just to go to the show. I'm like, yes, I can't wait. Like I love that show. Like, I think it's my favorite podcast. I would say that it is my favorite podcast. And I'm from Texas, and literally I was just in the crowd, minding my business, drinking my drink, and I hear them say, "Oh, we have a special guest today," and I'm thinking it's gonna be like Joe Budden or some shit. I'm like, we're in New York. It's gonna be like, Remy Ma. I don't know, right. Somebody like not me, and they're like, "Oh, Pennie, whatever," and then they had this sweet message for me, and I was just I was geeked off. I was like, that is so sweet and so amazing. And then you DM me afterwards, and I just love people who just like reach out and just are just like, I feel like these days people aren't like as like friendly or just as like warm, you know, and we've been chopping it up ever since. So yeah, and you had them on your show, right?
Yes, both of them.
Okay, tell us about that.
I randomly reached out to Lex because she's frequent on Twitter, and I see that she talks to all the people that listen to the podcast. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to Atlanta. I want her on the podcast. So I DM'd her. She answered quick.
Yeah.
She was like, that sounds like a good idea. I love it. And then from there, I went to Atlanta. It was hard to book studios, but I finally found one, hole in the wall. And she pulled up, did the episode. She loved it and was like, I think you should get Dre on.
Yeah.
Called her. She was like, yo, this is a dope podcast. Come and tell your story. Now, when Dre did hers, it was a lot of editing I had to do because who she dealt with, he was a big time guy. And her birthday was coming up. So she was like, he gonna buy me a bag. So we got to edit some stuff out.
Let's take this out. I'm weak. And literally it's crazy because like me being an avid listener, like I learned stuff about both of them on your show that I never heard like on their show. So that's a good thing about your podcast is like people will come on there and share things that they've never really shared before. So you bring that part like out of them. So shout out to Drea and Lex. And another thing I want to mention is I think, well, if the people listen to the podcast before my show, my last episode was pretty sad. I was going through a bunch of like, a bunch of shit. And I think that I was just having like a weird like past like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. And you literally like reached out and was like, who's making you sad? And just like,
I gotta listen to this.
You're like, you gave me words of encouragement, and you mentioned, you were like, you sound like me in your 30s. And I was like, okay, like in my mind, I was like, I'll ask him about this on the pod.
Early 30s.
Like early 30s.
I'm in my mid 30s, so.
Yeah. So I was like, what do you mean by that? Like what? I guess before we get into like, well, first of all, I'm like, should we get into who you are first? So let's get into like more about you first, and then we'll get into all that stuff. So we'll do a little backtrack. Let me know, outside of being the host for the podcast, like who are you? What do you do? What do you love? Where are you from?
I love music. So my name is Lama, Lamaine, if it's my full name, from Harlem, New York. Grew up everywhere. Went to high school in Queens, played football. I always loved music, so I got into DJing. I was producing first. Music, it's no money in that anymore. So got into DJing and did that for a while. But the thing with me is once I become good at something, I just quit it. I don't know why. It's a habit. Except for podcasting, I just stuck with it because Views of an Ex has been helping people. So I was like, you know what, I got to stick with this. And I'm just what is that? What did it say? A jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah.
Right.
So I know how to do a lot of things.
Right. Like a polymath, like a multi-hyphenate.
Yes. So that's me. And I always try to help people too. So if somebody's starting a podcast, I will give them the whole rundown.
Yeah.
If anything. But people don't see that in me. They see other things, and I don't know why.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because
like I was saying, the misconceptions I get is like I'm a mean person. I have an attitude. All of that stuff.
That's so crazy. I never thought anything of the such.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has an episode coming out about the misconceptions of him. So yeah.
Just in general.
In general, people. Okay. Yes. Okay. So back to, you said that I sounded like you in your early 30s.
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Like, what were you going through in your early 30s? But if it's about an ex, don't say it.
No,
we're going to talk about it later. Okay.
No, I just thought I had my life all figured out by 28. I thought I'd have a family. I thought I'd be making a lot of money, all types of stuff by 28. Then after 28, things were spiraling. So when I turned 30, like my whole journey changed because of certain situations. And an ex, changed my whole journey. And when I got to 30, I thought I had life figured out. And I was like, all right. And then at your age, 32, right?
31.
31. 30, yeah, around that time.
31.
That's when I went through my breakup. And life wasn't going as planned. So I thought I would be married and kids, all that stuff. And took a whole whirlwind. And I was heartbroken and going through just craziness. And I was comparing myself to others.
You just felt like you weren't where you were supposed to be in your life.
Looking at my friends online and looking at people.
Especially as a creative. And like how you said, a jack of all trades, master of none. Sometimes you feel like that's kind of crippling to you because you're like, damn, I just wish I liked one thing. I just wish I just stuck to one thing. I've been going through that as well. I'm like, what if I would have just stuck to just being a journalist or stuck to just being in medical school? Like, where would my life be right now? But there's like beauty in like being, how we are, honestly. Yeah.
And being online, it doesn't help because you're seeing everybody's highlights. At that time, I didn't get it. I'm like, damn, everybody's doing good. Everybody got money. But it's not coming on to me that everybody's just showing the highlights of their life. I don't know what they're going through. But to me, it was like, damn, I'm not doing good. Look at this person going on trips. Look at this person wearing designer stuff and eating at fancy restaurants. And I was comparing myself a lot.
Right.
And then one
day... Especially as a
yes.
man, and especially as a good man, you want to like provide and do, all the things. And if you weren't able to,
And looking back, I was like, I'm on my own journey. Why am I comparing myself to these people?
Yeah.
And it was one situation where I knew the person, but they page looked fire. But in real life,
they wasn't that.
Homeless, couch surfing.
Not homeless.
Yeah, they have a nice car, but live on a twin bed. And I'm like, all right, yeah. So the internet is fake, kind of.
Yeah, and I think everything is also about like perception. Because like after that week that I had, which y'all heard about it, and I really hadn't had like a week like that in a while. It just, I don't know, everything just got to me. And then I kind of came out of it and started to, like, my perception just kind of changed. I was like, okay, like you stopped doing this because of this. Like it was just like, I started to think about all of the good things and like why I am in my positions because I chose a different like route, and things just started to like make more sense and add up. And I'm like, my journey isn't over, and there's going to be like down times in your journey. And it's probably not even really truly a downtime just because, like you said, I'm comparing myself to others. Because I've had like so many highlights. It's like, it's not a downtime. It's just, it's just the way that life goes.
That's how it goes. For example, I used to do music and I had an artist who was like very talented, and I put all my eggs in that one basket thinking like, oh, this guy's going to make us millions. He's like our Drake, and things did not work out.
Yeah.
And I took a whole like left turn. I'm like, all right, that didn't work out.
Oh, because y'all two were supposed to go up together.
It was a whole group of people.
You were a producer?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you are.
Producer, manager, all of that stuff. And the artist didn't take off. So it was like, damn, we put all the eggs in that basket. What are we going to do now? And I was sad for a while because I'm like, damn, music was it. And life didn't turn out as planned. So
to pivot.
When that happens, it could be depressing. And,
But I mean, I think that's like that's just what was meant to happen in your life. You know what I mean? Like everything happens how it's supposed to happen.
But if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be on this journey.
Yeah, you wouldn't have this podcast that's like helping so many people and it's going to continue to grow. It's like already like growing it. So that makes so much sense. Yes. So before we get into like the nitty gritty of things, we always tap in with our listeners first with our listener letters. I do mine in the beginning, not the end, like most pods.
All right.
Just to like spice it up.
Yes.
So I'm going to read it and we're going to give our girls some advice. So girls and boys, actually, and non-binaries, all that. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you guys know, if you ever need advice, email me, pennie.nasty@gmail.com, or DM me. I always say, I don't know shit, but like I can help you from what I know in my life. But I'm not a advice guru, not a therapist yet, but I can help you from what I know. So, dear Pennie, I have been friends with a guy for about 4 years. We have been really good friends, even throughout both of our own relationships. He's had a girlfriend for a while, and I've had different boyfriends and situations, but we've always just been cool. He was a serial cheater most of his life, and he would share a lot of his life with me and ask me for advice. From my point of view, he was really trying to heal, and it seemed like he was just not in any relationships that served him or made sense for him. Years later, we are both single now, and we are finding ourselves hanging out more, and it's really a vibe. It's really a vibe that has been brewing. He's so cool, and we know everything about each other. We're really like best friends. He's even gone to therapy to figure out his doggish ways. Should I proceed? I feel like I will always question if he's cheating, but I truly trust him, and we have really good, solid communication. What do you think I should do about this?
I think she should do it.
Why?
As a man,
okay,
because she knows everything about him, I don't think he would cross the line with her.
Because they're really friends.
Yes.
Right. Like you think that he would like say something first if he's trying to like date someone else?
The trust is there. So they've been 4 years. That's a lot of building. And I think with the personal stuff that he's been telling her, she understands who he is as a person.
Right.
And with guys, if we really like a person, we ain't gonna mess that up.
Yeah.
So I don't think in his past he probably liked those girls.
Yeah,
so
it was just like
temporary
I think the same thing, because if like she said that the communication was really strong. I think communication is like
key.
That's really is key. I think that if you guys have always talked about, what he was doing in the past, I would like put that into this relationship. And I feel like people tend to not want to speak about if like let's say like you're out and you see someone cute. Like if you're not in a relationship, I think it's okay to say, hey, I met someone tonight.
Yes.
I'm kind of like interested in them, but I'm not sure. Like, like it's okay to like express that with someone who's like if you're all on the same page. Yes. So do all of that, get all that out though before y'all actually are together. But just like communicate.
Yes.
And say.
And also, my fault.
Go ahead. No, yeah.
I also believe friends make the best relationships. Because they was friends for this long, I think things will turn out good. But if he's a dog and still a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
in therapy to fix it.
I mean, this must be severe. But if he messed that up, he's just dumb.
Right.
So
at that point, it's just like, all right. But you think it's worth a try?
Yes, I think so too.
Because I think also it's like, it could be a timing thing as to why like him and the other girls, didn't work out. It could be like they really just weren't the right girls for him. And yeah, I think that it's worth a try, especially if you really do feel like you guys are there for each other. And then if anyone knows him, you do. You can be patient with him. Yeah. You know what it looks like when he's cheating. Like, all the things.
So we not that, some guys are not that hard to figure out. It's just, he's been telling you what it is. Yeah. And if every time he cheated, it was similar with every girl he's been with. She might be the change. Yeah, because she knows him is in and out.
Okay, sister. I think so too. Because I'm really here for the friendship thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm really here for, and it's really big. All about like communicate. Like, don't be scared. You know who's really? I love this. Do you know Shannon Boodram? Shan Booty?
Yeah, Shan Booty. And like, you say it like that.
Yeah, Shan Booty and her husband, Jared Brady. They had a thing to where it's like, okay, like we're together. They called it open.
Was it life partners or something like that?
Yeah, but like they're like, we're together. But if you ever feel like you have any type of urge or feeling or anything towards someone else, like just let me know. And it's like, I love you so much that I want you to explore that and then see if that, and then if not, we can talk about that.
I like their relationship because it's about happiness. Whatever. It's the life partner thing. So whatever fulfills your happiness, they go about it.
Exactly.
So I remember one time I was listening to him when she was pregnant, and she's like, she doesn't feel sexy. She didn't want to have sex with him, and she got him she told him to get somebody else. And I was like, what kind of open? it opened my eyes to something different. I was like, wow, that's open.
And it's almost like I don't want to use the word manipulation, but it's a psychological thing. It's like, I feel like a lot of men cheat just because like they feel like they can't. It's you know what I mean? Or people just like want to do things because it feels like they're not supposed to be doing it. But it's like, if someone's like, okay, well, go ahead and see if that's what you want. But it's like, if me and you have built something that strong, you're not going to leave me just off this random person that you had the urge to. You're going to go there and be like, actually, nah, let me go back home.
Right.
It's like, go see. Right. I kind of like it. It's really unorthodox, but I'm kind of like,
it's different.
It's different. Yeah. Not to say that I would do it. Nobody get no ideas. Nobody get no ideas. But I feel like I understand it.
I understand,
and it's very mature.
I had a chick I was dating, and we was talking about it. Like, we was open to it. And I was like, I don't know if I could get down with another dude messing with you.
Yeah. But I don't know about that, but like, I feel like that really happens. Like, girls just aren't like that. From what I see, girls don't really step out like that unless they are cheating back. If you cheating back, then yeah. But okay, so so we're saying that maybe you should see what's going on. Okay, so before we get into anything X related, I would really love the people to get to know like more about you as a person and just like your view on love and stuff. So do you have like a favorite love story or relationship that you look up to in any way? It could be in real life, could be a celebrity, could be on TV. I know you always say in your show that like R&B taught you how to love.
Yeah, it was
so
movies
it could even
and
be
R&B,
a song or a movie. Like,
dang, I have a friend.
Okay.
Who waited. It's a different type of relationship. So he played in the NFL. And him and his wife were college. They found each other in college. When he became an NFL player, he waited to have sex with her most of his career when she was ready until they got married. And then how that they foundation is built, I love it.
Wow.
Because it's strictly like they know how to communicate, they raise their family right, and there's all respect there.
So they didn't have sex at all, like not even with other people.
Nope.
Like they did until when
they got married.
They literally did the thing, like the Christian
together
thing,
for a while.
The Christian way.
Yeah.
Was it because of Christian values?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And he played in NFL, so he has access to everything.
Yeah, all the hoes.
Yeah. And even when she came to the games, they'll be at separate hotels. He'll get her own room, and they don't sleep together. It was.
I love that. Yeah. So, like, what made him make that? Well, had he always been that way?
No.
Okay, he been outside before.
Yeah, so when she came into the picture, she told her values and how she valued life and how she seen things, and he respected it and went about his way. I was like, all right, this is interesting because that's coming from you. It's interesting. And
we always hear about like people like waiting till marriage, but people are saying like they don't know if it works. And it's like you don't know what that thing do because it's like how are you supposed to know what it's really hidden for if you're not gonna do? People always talk about that, but I really think that works too for certain people because you really get to build like intimacy in different ways that actually like stand the test of time.
So they had to get to know each other fully before sex is involved. Yeah. And I respect that because in my dating life now, I think I want to go that route. Like try to get to know the person before sex is involved. Yeah. I don't know if I go that many years, but
at least until like y'all are together for a while or in a real relationship, just not so fast because it clouds things.
Clouds a lot of things. Yeah.
People want to. I mean, I think that some people can be like detached from sex and be sexually liberated, but a lot of us aren't there yet. And we can't keep lying to ourselves and acting like sex ain't nothing. Like it is an entire energy exchange. Yeah. So. And
then that's what brings people back sometimes. It's wrong, but like, oh, the sex is so good. Let me stay in.
Or just like the intimacy, just being like connected to somebody. Like it just feels good. Like humans thrive off of like connection and that touch. So I love that. That's not what I expected you to say.
Yeah, that example was like, all right, it showed me something different. Maybe I should approach it this way. And we talk all the time. He listens to my podcast. He be like, I can't believe people go through that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay married.
Right. Yeah. I love it. So I love the concept behind your show. And I know that this started due to your own personal heartbreak story. Can you tell us more about that?
I messed up. I did my own episode. It's episode 100.
Okay.
And I talked about the ex I thought I was gonna marry. Everything was right. It was perfect. But I still had inner demons that I had to fight, and it came out in that relationship where I made a big mistake.
Like cheating?
No, I ain't cheat. It's just I made a decision. It was like I had this thing where if you hurt me, I gotta hurt you back type of thing.
Okay.
Mindset.
Like vindictive?
A tit for tat. It was like a tit for tat type of thing. So she did something, and I felt like I needed to get back, and my get back was bad. It was bad, and it led to the breakup. And I was like, damn, I can't get this girl back. I tried to get her back, and nothing was working. So I was like, I need to ask people how they went through their breakups, and started the podcast.
So when you say like you just knew that you would marry her, do you believe that there's like such thing as like wifey type, or like, what was it that you, okay, like look, and for the girls and just for people, period, like what do you see as such? I love to like know, like, what does that look like for, I feel like it's different for everyone, but like, what did that look like for you?
She understood me. And we shared the same interests.
See, I love that. I love that you said that, like, oh, she cooks, she cleans, you know, like all the stupid like stuff, but you said something that was real. Like,
yeah, she understood me. Okay. Like as soon as we met, it was like, we knew each other since high school, but we never got that close. And then we reconnected and we started going on dates. And it was like we started talking more, and she understood who I was as a person, and I understood who she was as a person. And we both was like similar, and we meshed well. Like everything was just perfect. Like jokes, we had the same sense of humor, same taste in music. How we communicate was the same. Like everything was like perfect.
Yeah.
How we dressed, everything was perfect. And I just knew like that was the one, and that was it. She said the same thing. It's just, if I ain't mess up, we probably would have been still together.
So afterwards, did you just have like a hoe phase? Like what happened? Like how did you turn it?
Yeah.
Like I feel like some men have that one heartbreak that either turns them into like a better man or turns them into like a straight.
No.
Like,
I had a rebound. No, it was a rebound thing. So I met a girl right after, and she went through a breakup. I was going through a breakup, so it was like we were sharing that common interest, and then we just, we was both sad with each other.
Oh, so you had like that person to just
so
how did that end?
Oh, I can't say.
What you mean?
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay. Let me know that in my head.
That's a whole episode too.
Oh, okay. You have it on your pod?
No,
not yet.
It's still.
It's still not ready.
Yeah.
When was this? What has to be before your pod started?
2022. It ended.
Oh, okay.
January
so
2022.
Okay.
No, not January, like April. I would say April 2022.
So what do you think, like, do you have like a early, like what shaped the way that you view like love and dating? Like, was it your parents? Was it like, do you remember anything like, or like your earliest memory of like seeing?
My aunt and uncle, I thought it was real love as a kid. When I became an adult, it was something totally different. But that was my first look at like, all right, they got married. They have a dope house. She cooked. She's like the typical like wife back in the day. She cooked, cleaned, everything like that. He went to work. And it was just like a TV show type of relationship. He was like Martin to me, and she was like Gina.
Yeah.
And that was my first.
That was like what you saw, and you're like, like I want this. This is what like I see for myself.
But then as an adult, it was like Tyler Perry movie.
Like they were, or what you?
Yeah.
Oh,
it wasn't
changed.
real. It wasn't real.
Oh, right.
So that was my first look at something I thought was real, but then.
Yeah. Okay.
As a kid.
Yeah. And you mentioned, and my condolences to you for your mom. Like your mom passed away.
Yes.
Like, how do you think that like impacts the way that you relate to women?
My situation is weird. My situation is weird. So I wasn't with my mom for a long time. So she was on drugs when I was born. I was taken away as a kid, and my aunt took me in. So she was like my mom. My aunt was like my mom.
The Martin and Gina.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Gina.
The other aunt. My father. The Martin and Gina is my mother's sister.
Okay.
The one that took me in is my father's sister. So she took me in, and she was like my mom for like the first 6 years of my life. And then I had only like 4 or 5 years with my real mom, and it wasn't. I didn't really know her like that. So what I seen with that one was like a lot of abuse. The man that she was with, they always argued and fought. She used to pick knives up and cut them, and it was bad. So I knew I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So that I didn't want. I wanted to be better than him because he had bullshit jobs. He wasn't bringing no money. And he was like mooching off my mother.
Right.
So I knew I didn't want to be that type of guy.
Yeah.
So that was that. My brother, I hope he don't hear this. My brother too wasn't good examples.
Yeah.
So like the men on my mother's side, all are like the same. It's like they mooch off for women. Me, I never wanted to be that.
And I'm thinking about it in a sense of like, you know, like how they say like a girl's first love is their father.
Yes, yes.
And they say like a guy's first love is their mother.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about it in that sense of like, you had a mother figure that was your aunt. So you at least had like a figure who you could like.
Yes. But with her, it was different too. She didn't really have love in her life. All right. My godfather, who I used to call uncle, they was together. But it was a funny thing because she was like the side chick to him. But it was like real love there. Because he used to always come out the house, go to her, get cooking and everything like that.
Yeah.
But how she was as a woman, she showed me real love. Like I knew what love felt like because of her. So calling, like she would call me, check up on me, all of that type of stuff. Cook for me, like, oh, we got to come over for dinner. She showed that.
She showed yes. I see what you mean.
So when I look for a woman, I want that type of feel. Like
that's what
she appreciates me. Yeah, so
and like it's like looking out for you, like cares about like your well-being type stuff, like real shit. Yeah. So like your aunt showed you real love. So we're gonna go back into the breakup. So after your breakup, I heard you talk about the thing of like no contact. Like how did you like heal from that? And like what did it teach you about like I guess like did you it's probably done before. Yeah. Like your personal development, like your self-discovery, like what did you learn after? But first, like tell us about the whole no contact thing and like how did that go?
All right. So when I was
whenever I had a really bad breakup, I literally like was like, how, like, what do I do to get this nigga back?
You want them back?
Well, it wasn't even a breakup. It was like a situationship, actually. All my actual real breakups, I did not want them back. But it was a person that I never got to actually be with that I was like, and I learned about the no contact thing. And I hear you talk about it all the time. So I want to know. Like,
it works, but it didn't work for that situation because I messed up in the beginning. So the no contact rule worked after, like.
Okay, explain to us what the no contact rule is.
So they tell you like 21 days, like. So they said 3 weeks or something becomes a habit, right? So once I got into like that habit, I was like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah,
like, I don't feel anything anymore.
Yeah,
but then that person would reach out and be like, all right, why are you not contacting me? Like, what's up? Like, everything okay? And it works.
Because I heard that basically it's kind of like. It's like if you like you don't know what you have until it's gone, but it really has to be gone. So in order for you to show them that it's gone, you really got to be you not talking to them for 21 days. And then they start to realize, wait, they're good without me. And then psychologically something turns in their brain and they're kind of like, hold on, like I broke up with you. Like, why aren't you on me? And then that's how it ends the switch. Then I always wonder, like, is that manipulation or is that maturity in being like, you know what, you broke up with me, so I'm not going to talk to you. Not for 21 days, but just because
it's kind of a manipulation trick. Yeah, but it depends on the person as well. Yeah, if they weak-minded, then it will get them. But this girl was stern. Like because I messed up and her family was involved. She was like, yeah, I can't. Nothing's gonna work. Yeah. So
have you ever told like what you messed up and what you did? Yeah. On the show?
I said everything,
Okay, so y'all got to listen to the show.
Episode 100, I said everything.
On episode 100 to hear, I'm going to hear too.
People was like, it's not your fault. Like, the mother was involved and things were brewing to be that way anyway. Yeah. So, it was like, don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah. But I messed up. It was bad.
But everything happens for a reason. So what would you say that relationship, like how did it impact your personal development and self-discovery? Because you're here now with an amazing show that would not have happened if y'all didn't break up. And I can see like this show like just blowing the fuck. It's already huge, but I can really see it going like super big. It's so niche and unique and it's so special. So yeah, like how, in other ways, how has it impacted your personal development and your self-discovery?
I learned a lot. So I learned that I had to battle those little demons I had. And I was like, all right, because I did this is how I was feeling. And maybe I have to work on this. I had to work on myself. So that that breakup helped me with finding myself again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I knew myself, and it wasn't that. And the podcast helped me. So all the people I interviewed, they always give me bits and tips on how to work on myself. And because I always ask for somebody going through a heartbreak or a breakup, what's some advice you would give them? And some of the advice works. Like there was something called a dump, where if you feeling some way, you dump it in your phone. Like you use the voice note.
Just like a
scream in your phone, like get it out in your
brain
phone.
dump. Oh wow, yeah.
Brain
I used
dump.
to do a journal dump where I just like write literally just anything. It don't even make sense. But I just write it all out.
And then read it when you calm down. Read it and be like, oh yeah, I was bugging.
Yeah, it's like it actually sounds nuts.
Yes.
Like I'm actually wilding.
One of my guests told me that. I was like, oh, this didn't work. There was others that what was another thing? Episode 50. It was a lot of gems in that one. But it was like talking to people that's unbiased. So I ran them in the street. So if I go walking and just telling somebody that don't know you your problems and get that advice instead of your friends, helped me a lot.
Right. So what was two things. The craziest story from your podcast. Like I'm talking about what is this? And
it's
then
not even released.
Okay, the one that has been released. And then I want to know the story that you learned the most from, and like what was it that you learned from their actual story? So give me both of those.
It wasn't the story. So episode 50, that's my favorite episode ever.
Okay.
His is a men's coach, but the gems that he gives, like you just gotta listen to it.
Okay.
But he gave me the talk to unbiased people. He gave me that, and it was other gems in there. I did it so long ago. But his story, he's a white man too. His story just like if you listen to it and how he speaks, helps you out and calms you and things like that. And he's just giving a lot of gems. Another episode was the one that wasn't released is on my Patreon.
Okay.
You can see that money doesn't help anything. So he was battling a lot of things.
Like money doesn't help.
He had money.
Like your emotional like your emotional well-being.
So a lot of guys would think like, oh, if I get money, things will be all right. But in this situation, when you listen to his story, he had the money.
He taught you that. Yeah. That's good. Because literally people always think, oh my God, if I get to this amount of money, like I'm going to be good. And they spend their whole lives not being present in the moment. Literally that's how I was last week when I was on the podcast talking all that sad shit. Like I literally was just thinking about, oh my God, like I should be here. I should be having this. But it's like, you need to enjoy what you have in the moment. Cause like people who have hella money, like are sad too. It's not about that. It's about like being present.
In that situation, his girl kept cheating, but he was like, oh, but I'm working on these jobs. We have cars.
His
we have
girl
a house.
kept cheating on him and wait.
Yeah, it's on my Patreon. I didn't release it because the guy died. And
the guy that you interviewed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what happened was he was going to release a tape. Like he filmed himself putting his wife on blast. And I was like, I know him personally. So I was like, don't do it that way. Just come on my podcast where you're not really bashing her. You're just telling your story.
Yeah. He
thought about it and he did an episode. We filmed it. We recorded it. And he got back with her. And I think when he got back with her 2 weeks later, he tried to kill him. He tried to kill himself, but he was without oxygen for like 8 minutes, and then he was a vegetable in the hospital.
So
she pulled the plug. He tried to hang himself.
Okay.
And they caught him 8 minutes in. And then,
that is so. But at least.
But he did. I was holding on to that episode for like a year, and I was like, you know what?
You was holding on to it because
I didn't want to I know him personally.
You just knew it wasn't right to put out. Like you knew it was too intense, or
yeah, because out of respect, that's his wife, right?
Oh, okay.
And you could hear that she basically mentally killed him.
Yeah.
So I didn't release it out to the public. I released it on Patreon. His family caught wind of it, and he was like, "Yo, I'm glad you put it out because we didn't know what he was going through."
Right.
And if you listen to the episode, he felt like money, his looks had to be right, and she won't cheat, and if you take good care of her. But what was missing was the time. He was working like 5 jobs, and he never spent time with her. So she found somebody, an ain't shit dude. I can curse on you? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've been cursing the whole time. Yeah.
Like an ain't shit dude that had the time to spend with her. So
yeah. So you learned that. Yeah.
And during the episode, we like, yo, you need some help. Nah, I don't need some help. How you gonna tell somebody that helps other people that they need help? Like it was stuff like that.
Because he's like, I got money. I have so. His form of having, he's like, I have my shit together. I mean, I have money, but it's like, there's other things you need to have together. And that is huge. And also like a huge deal just because you gave him and his family like closure.
Yes.
And a
That's what his sister
that's
said.
really what the pod like. That's bigger than like any amount of views, any amount of really anything.
That's what his sister
I'm a crybaby, and that's gosh.
His sister was like,
intense.
I'm glad he did this. It was like we never knew, and for him to like pull it all out there, it was a problem. Deep. It was deep.
That's so deep.
So I never released it to the public, but if you go on the Patreon and sign up, you gotta scroll down some.
Yeah.
But that one,
that's what you learned like a lot from.
Like what it looks like online ain't what it is in person. So the online thing, he showed the family a lot. He showed that he got a new car, a house, all of these good things.
But on the inside, that's not what was happening.
Terrible, yeah.
And it's like we always say that and see that, but we still end up, falling into those thought patterns. We do need to be reminded of such. Like it's not all what it seems.
Yes.
Like the grass is not always greener. Like just love where you're at.
Yeah.
And you never know what people are going through and what they have going on.
Exactly.
And what they had to, I feel like you told me this, like what they had to do to get to where they are.
Exactly.
Like you just don't know. So
some girls be working 80 hours just to go to that trip, and
right.
It looks good on IG, but she's dying inside. Like it ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. Dang. So what's the, I guess, like crazy? It could be crazy funny, crazy, just like what the fuck?
It's a lot of them.
Story.
It's a lot of them. I think her name is Stella Belafonte. She tells like some of the best stories. Her first story was good, and it was like she dated this guy who was beating her ass. He wanted to become a fighter, and he was like testing the moves out on her. He was
That's not where I thought this was going.
Yeah, he was learning karate and shit like that, and was testing the moves out on her.
Not kung fu fighting on her ass.
And then he became a champion like in UFC. The shit was crazy. I'm like, I was like, you lying. She was like,
and she let him?
No, she broke up with him.
Wait,
but he was abusive.
Oh, so it was abuse.
Yes,
it wasn't like he was really.
No. He was like doing the moves on her, but it was like he was abusing her at the same time.
Okay.
She didn't want that done to her.
Okay.
Like,
no, I thought it was like she was like, oh, okay.
Hell no. He was learning like kung fu karate chops.
But he was doing that shit on her.
Yes.
Like in private when it was okay, no.
And she was taking those beatings, but
that's insane.
He later became a champion in UFC.
I didn't mean to laugh at that.
I was laughing. I was like, this is nuts.
Was she laughing? Like, what was she saying?
She could laugh at it now.
Now, okay.
But she was like, she randomly looked him up. Like, I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
And this nigga's a champion.
Yeah. And now he literally is. Oh, like she looked him up, right? He's like, oh, not he.
Yeah.
So he was practicing on her.
Yep. Yo, I was dying.
Actually,
that was crazy.
Not a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
That's actually wild.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because he started out doing like a fight club. You ever seen Fight Club?
Haven't seen so
it was
many
like an
movies
underground, like people that come from work and they go to underground and fight for money or whatever. So he started out doing that. And then he was like, you know what, I'm going to take this serious. He was buying books on Kung Fu and all types of stuff. And what he would learn, he'd be like, oh, you could do this, is that?
Yeah. Roundhouse kick.
Yeah. Doing it on her.
I wish a nigga would roundhouse kick on me.
He was like, learn just like I could put you to sleep like this and doing it on her. And yeah.
Oh my God. That's actually
hilarious.
That's hilarious.
It's sad at the same time.
That y'all need to check out the show, obviously. That's all that I'm hearing right now. So do you think, because you have men and women on the show, do you think men and women view dating and love and breakups differently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us what you think the common difference is.
I'm going to put it simple. There's a Fonte line that says, a woman life is love and a man love is life. So I'm gonna break it down. So men, we go out and we love outside. We love just all of that stuff. And women just love. Like I do everything. Like, oh, I want this man to do this, and I want the romantic wedding and the rich Asian. You see that movie, the type of wedding. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about like, oh, we about to be lit with the drinks at. Yeah. Where the hoes at. Like so we love life, and women love. Yeah, their life is love.
So say it again.
A woman life is love, and a man love is life.
Yeah. Damn, I never heard that before.
It's a rapper named Fonte. He said it. I heard it.
I know. Okay, he said that before. Okay. That's wild.
And I was like, basically, that's how it is. Like,
yeah.
when you doing all these episodes, I'm like, damn, she really liked this guy. Like, he ain't really like her like that.
Yeah, you
the signs was there.
can hear it, you can tell.
And then the man, he'd be like, yeah, I was just fucking these girls.
Right.
He'd be like, that's how it be.
So so that brings me into like, what's another theme that you see in all of the stories, like, and what went wrong? Like, what are the red flags that you see that people like so clearly avoid? And then when you hear this story, like, you just hear them repeatedly in these different stories. I feel like love bombing is one thing. Like when someone is like so in your face, like right in the beginning, I feel like that could be one.
Not tackling some of the traumas they've been through prior. So a lot of my guests, they were just trial and error type of situations where they thought, oh, if we argue, that's love. That's a form of love. But that's toxic. That's not it. But there's early red flags that communication wasn't there, or they didn't properly know how to date. They didn't know what love looked like. And it probably was a Love Jones. And like, oh, if it's like this. So nobody really went into the situation knowing.
Emotionally, like, what do I need? What are my needs? What do they need? And like how to work through that. It's just like, it's kind of like, someone said this, what they say, it's like falling in love is like a wave washing over you. You're just standing in it, like drowning. Instead of like intentionally choosing to be in it, which is when it actually does work out. It's like just a wave of it just drowning you, and you just
So a lot of people don't walk in with the right tools. And due to us being young, and our examples are from TV. Or even
I think even due to like, we're just now like getting on this whole healing thing. That's like new. Like,
it used to be looked at crazy. You say you're going to therapy,
like, are you all right? Like, so that's just a thing, you know, especially in the Black community. Like, we're super late to like being keen to our mental health, because we couldn't think about that type of stuff. We had other things to worry about.
Right.
Like,
being lit.
Right. Damn.
So that's one of the common themes is just people not going in with the right tools on how to love. And I ask that question every time, like, where did you learn love? What did that look like for you? And the answers be like, I don't know. A lot of times movies and songs like me.
Yeah, like
so
nothing.
I was
like,
walking into things with trial and error.
Right.
And 30?
I think that like, but one thing that I like when I was listening to your show was like, breakups are natural and they naturally happen. And what I did love is at the end, most of the people seem like they were better after.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, I think that when you're in a breakup, you don't think about that. But like now, after it took me to be like, you know, even if whatever I'm in right now doesn't work out, like I know that I'm going to be even better than I was before after. Like it's like a part of the process.
Yep.
Like we shouldn't run away from pain. And even I think it's so beautiful to take a risk on love. Like that is just like the best part of living, like just that feeling. So
I used to be afraid to start over. That was my thing. Like, this person got to know me. I told her all my deepest secrets. I gotta do that again with somebody. I used to hate it. But I'm like, I'm good now. It's like, all right, that's part of the process.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I used to really be like anti being friends with an ex.
Why?
Until I got older. And like after a while, like I would talk to my exes, and really I realized like how much you can learn from about yourself and become self-aware like through your ex. Like I have a conversation with them. We talk about old stuff, new stuff, just like talk shit to each other, and really like it's a good like mirror to yourself, like talking to an ex. Like, so I want to know like, what is your view on being friends with
It depends on
exes?
the ex. It depends on how it ended, and it depends on the ex and their maturity. Because I'm friends with, let me see, I had like 6 exes. I'm friends with like 2 or 3. And it's no...
But you've had how many exes?
Like 6.
Damn, like actual girlfriends.
I don't count the high school, but let me see. 3 high school. 1, 2,
oh yeah, you're older than
3.
me. Let me see, I forgot.
So 3 adult relationships. Wait,
I'm judging.
See, 1, 2, 3. The adult ones and 3 high school.
Okay, that's normal. Yeah. That's normal.
So I'm cool with like 2 out of the 6. And everything is fine.
And it brings so much clarity. You're able to move forward in a good way. I don't think you should be like texting every day or
no. It's like check-ins, like check-ins.
Or if
How
I see you,
doing?
like we're good. But I used to literally be like mad at my exes now for being friends with their ex. I'd be like, why would you even be talking to that girl? Like,
right. But one of them, I gotta like set the boundary. Because I could tell that she wants me as an adult, the adult version of me.
Yeah.
I'm not the same. So she be trying to shoot a little shot.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah. What have you seen has been like the most reasons for breakups?
Cheating.
Okay.
Financial is up. It's like third. So cheating and abuse is the top two.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, those are the top two. And then the financial thing is third.
Financial, like someone's making more than the other?
Yeah, somebody's broke. And
okay.
They waived you?
Yeah. No, they didn't. She just walking through.
All right.
Yeah.
Financial is like the last thing. So yeah, the guy's broke or they live a situation ain't right and it tarnishes the relationship.
Yeah. I feel like also like I'm not in a relationship right now, but I'm so scared, fearful for my next one. Not because of like, I'm going to get my heart broken, but now I'm realizing how much a relationship can change the trajectory of your life. Like, it can literally, you can go up or you can go backwards. You can go
but it shouldn't be
sideways.
Like that.
Why? Because you should just be stable in yourself? Or?
Yeah, everybody, you got to come as one. Come as yourself.
Yeah.
Either you add into it or it's level. It's level playing.
Yeah. I think that maybe before for me, like being a people pleaser, and I think that I just kind of swayed with whatever, which I think I'll tell the story. I'll tell this story on your show.
This is the situationship?
Yeah. No, this is the actual ex that I think I'm going to tell on your show.
Okay.
But yeah, like I feel like we definitely weren't meant to be together, nothing like that. And like it literally changed, I think so, which probably isn't right, the way that my life went. Like it slowed it down to me is what I think, like in a sense.
A lot of women do that.
And you know, Drea says this all the time. Drea talks about how like she always thinks that there might be like better out there for her. And she's kind of nervous. It's like, okay, like, is this the person? Because it's like, especially as a woman, it's like the man that you decide to marry and attach yourself to, like, that's your livelihood.
Yeah.
Like that is your, like your lineage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like literally you're attaching yourself to someone who like your kids. So to me, it's such an like,
it should be a reflection of yourself too.
That's true.
I'll be meeting girls. I'm like, yeah, I can't. If I die, you ain't gonna hold nothing down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No, so, like my friend said something like he was like he was like she could never be the matriarch of my lineage, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, you just be. I know. I can see it now.
I was like that is deep. It's like yes, she couldn't be that. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
I know now. Like I'm older, so I could see it. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
This ain't it. Like, I'll be like how Gucci Mane went to jail, left his girl money, and she came back with more money. I want something like that. Like you gonna hold it down,
right? So you don't think that we should have a fear? We shouldn't, of course. We should have no fear.
Yeah,
but I would be vulnerable and say
that person come as they are, and if he's not adding to your plate, you don't want nobody taking from your plate,
right?
So it should be level playing, or that's it, or adding to it,
or walking away.
Yeah. So if somebody's taking, you gotta dip.
Yeah.
Or wanting so much of your time and you got something going, dip. They gotta understand. Y'all both gotta just understand everything.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like they're gonna come in. So I'm like, let me see how I wanna just like wrap it up and then we can keep talking. You know what I mean? Like just wrap it up for now. I'll do that.
That's the girl?
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. we're gonna do a part 2 for sure, and then I'm gonna be on his show when I come back from Kenya. But this was like amazing. I feel like it's literally like a cliffhanger. It's like there's so much more to talk about. Yeah.
We didn't even get to the ex like the stuff you said we was gonna talk about. We didn't even get to that.
Like
part
with
yet.
Your ex?
No, you left me with 3 questions or something like that when you first introduced this episode, and I was like, I'm ready for it. Like you said, ex could be friends and stuff like that. So I guess
there's literally so much more. Yeah. There's so much more. So what I love to end the show with always is like what has been bringing you peace of mind. It could be through your relationship. It could be now. It could be like anime. It could be like, you know, what you ate. It could be anything. Like what has been currently. I love that. Once I learned how to be by myself, it was a wrap. Yeah. So I take myself out on dates and I take myself out to explore just a city and just I don't know. I love it. It's just I find peace just going to a park and sitting there, or going to a jazz restaurant where they playing live music and stuff like that. I learned how to be like alone, and just like it just feels good.
Yes.
Just be with your own thoughts. And I always tell them also what's bringing me what's bringing me peace of mind as of lately. me and my family have been having these like Sunday talks where we all just like do like a mental check-in. Like me, my mom, my dad, my brothers, and we just all kind of go around the table or on the phone and say like what we're going through, what's coming up, how we're feeling, you know, how we can support each other. And at first I was like, okay, y'all, like it just felt kind of heavy, but it really was like, okay, I'm really getting to connect with my family. They're not here. They're in Houston. My brother's like in New Mexico. Everyone's all over the place. So it's a way for us to connect, and also reminds me like when I feel alone, it's like, oh, I'm really not like ever alone. Like I have a solid ass family. But okay, thank you so much, Lama from Views of an Ex podcast. We're gonna I did half of what I had on this thing. I'm like, oh my God, great conversation. Thanks for coming. Thanks for setting up and just being like a great creator and like now friend. So
thank you.
Yay.
You're welcome. All right. So ready? Yeah.